We're back with our veteran crew, Phil Papour, Paul Daniels, Josh Krupp. We've got our coaches at the couch. We're going to do the Final Four. Coming out of the South, we have Kansas taking on West with Oklahoma. Boys, who's winning this Big 12 showdown?
I'll start it off, and even though I jumped off the Oklahoma bandwagon way back then, I'm going to go with the Sooners this time, taking over Kansas. They played a lot of close matchups this season, but I think Oklahoma and Buddy Hield, if he gets to that big stage, I think he's going to take it in that semifinal matchup to get his team to the national championship.
I agree with you, but first let me say something. After the beating I just took in the first two regions, all four of my Final Four were the same. So how about that? And I got Oklahoma. I got Oklahoma over Kansas. Buddy Hield, the winner in this one. Oklahoma, let's remember, challenged Kansas twice in the regular season. Had a triple overtime game, lost by 3, and lost in regulation by 4 in a similar type of game. I like Oklahoma in the third matchup, though.
No, I'm taking Kansas in that matchup. I don't trust Buddy Hield. Something in me doesn't think he's going to take his team to destiny. What else does Oklahoma have down low besides Ryan Spangler? I mean, I think, Kyle, that Kansas is going to win and go to the championship.
I actually think you're right. I think Wayne Selden, Graham, I think what Kansas has starting in the bench will lead them past Oklahoma. But, we don't have the only say. We're going to go over to the coaches and see what they have to say.
Josh, I'm with you. I have Kansas winning it. I don't think that since they have Oklahoma, they have an easy path, but I think Bill's self-team is not going to self-destruct here. Might come in the next round, but I think Kansas is just better than Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been too inconsistent this year. Kansas has been very consistent, and I just don't see Buddy Hield. Besides him, I don't see anybody else on Kansas stepping up in this national stage.
See, I disagree. I thought neither of these teams were going to make the Final Four, but if this is what I have to deal with, I believe in Buddy. I think we get the Kemba Walker effect. Buddy Hield takes Oklahoma into the national championship game. I'd love to see another 3 overtime series like we did in the first game. And remember, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season. This is the third matchup between these two teams.
Right.
Well, since we're tied now, guess who gets the final say?
Oh, God.
And I haven't had to do this all show.
Wait, how are we tied?
Oh, please tell me it's not.
3-3, Blaine?
3-3.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so Paul,
Yeah. Oklahoma, obviously.
you're wrong.
Okay, well.
Okay, I have Kansas. Listen, depth is the point where you take over here. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't like Buddy here because you and Trevor and I do have similar Final Fours than there's yours, and so does Phil. I'm surprised Phil's not on our train, but it's all right. We're gonna go to the other side of the bracket where Phil, myself, had WVU,
Same.
who's playing Michigan State. What do you guys have?
I don't think Press Virginia can get by Michigan State and everything they have. Tom Izzo goes back to the national championship.
I agree. West Virginia loses to Michigan State in this one. Tom Izzo, Denzel Valentine, and they go on a run again to the championship game.
Phil, what do you got, buddy?
I have all the faith in the world in Tom Izzo, especially Denzel Valentine and the Michigan State team, but I feel like there's something about this WVU team. I mean, they played a lot of tough competition. Kansas, Oklahoma, coming out of the Big 12. I'm honestly going to go with WVU. They're physical, they're aggressive. I think they can get in Denzel Valentine's head. I think they can steal this and run to the national championship.
Back to our coaches, guys. Are you going to support Phil's team or these two?
Sorry, Phil.
Yeah, Phil, what are you talking about? I honestly think Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans easily beat West Virginia. I don't even think it's a contest. I think Bob Huggins' team, the West Virginia Mountaineers, they made a good run, but I don't see Tom Izzo losing this whatsoever.
I'm going to use the same argument I used in the last time we were talking about UNC versus WVU. A smart basketball team can beat this press. Michigan State is a smart basketball team. Tom Izzo teams are smart basketball teams. There's no way they're going to let this press beat them the entire game.
Yeah, and Michigan State's been pushing for this run for a few years now. This is the year they get over the hump.
That means we're at the national championship, boys. Kansas, Michigan State, Self, Izzo. Who do you got? We're going to start with the coaches. Guys, who do you have?
Well, I'm going to throw in some of our others that we had on. Sarah, she had Kansas and Michigan State, and she had Kansas winning it all. Mike, he had Oklahoma and Michigan State. He had Michigan State. Trevor, I'll let you start.
Michigan State. I mean, like I said, I believe in Buddy, but I think Michigan State is a more well-rounded team. I think comparing Denzel, just head-to-head, Denzel Valentine is just as good as Buddy Hield. Maybe not has the exact statistics that Buddy has, but those two match up well, and Michigan State has more past that than Oklahoma does.
And I'm going to agree. I think this is Michigan State's time. I think that they've made a deep run over the past few years. I think the fans are still kind of upset about the college football season, so this is their opportunity to get back into it. And I think that Denzel Valentine is going to step up to the Buddy Hield level, and I think that Michigan State is going to not easily cruise past. It's going to be a close game. It's going to kind of be like last year's matchup with Wisconsin and Duke, when Duke just pulled away late in the second half. I think Michigan State pulls away late in the second half.
Well, boys, it's back to us at the desk for 2-0 Michigan State. Phil, we'll start with you. Who you got?
Even though I said WVU, I would have WVU or Michigan State, so I'm going to go 3 for 3 with Michigan State and Tom Izzo getting over the hump this year with Denzel Valentine and him going out on top.
Make it 4 for 4, Michigan State, 68-60 over Oklahoma.
Phil, for your sake, I hope SF Austin doesn't pull off the upset you're hoping for in the first round.
You know what, Josh?
The best
Me too.
3-point shooting team in the country wins this one. Michigan State walks away with its first title since 2000.
Michigan State is your national champion. And I actually agree with you, boys. You know who I actually think is going to be the MVP? Not Denzel Valentine. Not Costello. Not Forbes. Deontay Davis. A potential lottery pick one day. And the guy that Tom Izzo's relied on locked down the stretch. So that does it for the March Madness episode of the Pioneer Sideline. Join us next week as we cover Point Park Sports again. So, everyone, take the bracket in. Thanks these guys for their services. And pick Michigan State.
For basketball.